but I mean, not a super long meditation. Let's see, we're not going to use anything different than usual. However, if you so choose, you can start, we're going to do a hero's pose to start with to sit. And so I have a block and then my bolster over it. So my legs are going to go underneath the bolster on either side of the block. So you can choose to try that if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay, you can sit however you want. So now I'll mute you guys just in case anybody else pops on. There we go. All right, so let's come to our comfortable seat. And this one can sometimes be a little complicated to get into. So I come down onto my hands and knees to scoot my legs underneath the bolster. It's probably an easier way to do it. That's just how I've always done it. And then as you sit up, it means that your hips are going to be a little bit higher. And take a couple moments here to just notice if that's comfortable for you. And if it's not, then shift it to something that is. Okay. And now with hands resting against your thighs, or you can always have fingertips coming to the ground or maybe to your bolster. Let your eyes close. And from here, begin to tune into your breath and how it's moving this morning. We have this opportunity in our restorative practice to bring that overall balance to our week as we head into this weekend of holiday. As you take another couple of breaths, focus on bringing your breath to that even place. And by even, let's think of an even energy put into the inhale, an even energy put into the exhale. Soft, gentle pause at the top of the inhale. Soft, gentle pause at the bottom of the exhale. And come to this intention of bringing some balance to your body, to your mind. And now connect hands together at heart center. And as you gently press your palms together, lift your heart up, lengthening a little more through your sides, through your spine. Full deep inhale and exhale. And with that exhale, bow toward your heart, honoring yourself for taking this time for some self-care and to find some balance. Then softly opening your eyes and releasing your hands down, give a little gentle press into your upper thighs, wherever that happens to be for you, whether you're sitting cross-legged or if you're sitting in this modified hero's pose, and then lift up and open through your shoulders. Shoulder blades start to engage a little on your back, lengthen up through the back of your neck. And then let your head drop over to the right side, right ear to right shoulder, and take a couple big breaths, moving the left shoulder onto your back a few times. Inhale back up to center and exhale, left ear to left shoulder. And again, a few times of moving your right shoulder blade onto your back. Then inhale back up to center. And with your shoulders both moving back, drop your chin down and shake your head no toward the ground. Just giving yourself a little bit more information about what's going on through upper back, neck, tops of shoulders. And then lifting up with your gaze, take hands behind your back to clasp. And as you press palms together, again, lift shoulders up and back, hug elbows back, shoulder blades engaging here, and then begin to lift even more through your ribs, your collarbones. Find that length through the back of your neck, and even think of drawing your chin just slightly in toward your neck. Full big deep breath. Then releasing your hands. And now taking your right ear over to your right shoulder again, you're taking a hold of the side of your head with your right hand. And if you want to, if you're sitting on your bolster, then you're going to take a hold of maybe the loop on the edge of it, or you can hold on to the corner of it and just lean a little bit away, leaning toward the right side. Re-engage the shoulder blade, and if you're not sitting on your bolster, you can just reach your fingertips out to the side. Full big deep breath. Now inhale back up to center and exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Take a hold of the side of your head with your left hand. And again, your option here for holding on to the loop on your bolster or the edge of your bolster, or just reach your fingertips out. Big breath. And then back into center now. And if you want to, if you're sitting cross-legged, you can change how you're sitting. Or if you're sitting in hero's pose, you can change how you're sitting if it's no longer feeling good. So now reaching your right arm or your right hand around to the left side, you're gonna reach and hold that bottom part of your neck where your neck and your thoracic spine or your upper back connects. That part of your spine that sticks out. It's a junction. So as you hold on to this place, pull forward and then resist, press back. And from that place, drop your head over to the left side and then just move it around so you're using the side of your hand as a little bit of a massage tool. And then back into center, second side, left hand reaches around to the right side. I always like to use my other hand to help me get there. Find that spot at the back of your neck, at the base of your neck, and pull forward and resist back. And then drop your head over to the right. And the same thing, find that movement so that your neck gets a little bit of massage from your hand. And then releasing your hand, take a moment to roll both shoulders back. And then roll both shoulders forward. And then back into center, shoulders up and back. And we'll take a twist to each side. So reaching across with your right hand to your left thigh, maybe your knee, whatever happens to be there for you. You can take your left hand, if you're sitting on your bolster, maybe to the back edge of it or to the floor, but take a moment to lengthen, lift up through both sides, and then exhale, gently draw your ribs in to help you twist a little bit more. Full couple of breaths here. And then inhale back into center and exhale, taking that twist around to the right side. And find that length as you inhale. Find the engagement of the ribs as you exhale. And take a couple deep breaths here. Then inhale back into center. And now we're gonna shift off of our throne if you're sitting on it. So shifting forward and moving the props. And then we're gonna come all the way down to sit on sitting bones. And you can do this with a blanket underneath your hips if you want to, but we'll get a little bit into the hips now. We'll take first that windshield wiper action. So take feet wider than your mat and come up onto your heels. And then take your hands behind you to rest back on and press down to lift up and open through your chest. And then begin that movement with your heels as your pivot point, taking knees side to side in windshield wipers. And as you take them side to side, you can notice for yourself if there's tension in particular places through the hips, maybe the glutes, maybe the quads or hamstrings, whatever's showing up. Notice if a more gentle movement or a deeper movement is right for you today. A couple more big breaths. And then come back into center. We're sitting tall. And first thing, we'll take feet together into our butterfly. And as you take this butterfly, we're going to take our bolster, since I know you all have one, out in front of your feet. And just aim it toward your head. And then you're gonna rest your head right on your bolster here. And as you take this is a little bit of a fold. If you need to adjust where your bolster is, further away or closer to, you can. Take a couple big breaths, maybe eyes closed. Maybe you keep them softly open. As you take your next couple of big breaths, notice if there's any place where you're holding on. Notice if you can let go of places that don't need to hold on. We have about 5 more full breaths right here. And gently take a hold of your bolster as you lift your gaze. And you can set your bolster aside. And then creating a base with your left leg, we'll pick up our right leg and take that baby cradle action here. So as you flex your right foot to create a little strength and stability through the ankle and the knee, you can hold it as close as you need. Sometimes it's nice to reach underneath it. Sometimes hooking it right in the crook of your elbows. Find where it is that you can sit tall. And sometimes that just means holding it away from you a little ways so you can sit a little taller. And now we're going to turn our legs. We're holding on to our foot or our shin here. So your foot is aimed forward, knee is aimed back. It's that half happy baby pose in the sitting position. Take your left hand over to the side of you, right beside your hips, so that you have something to help you sit even taller. And then create a little resistance, a little pull back and a little push forward and lengthen even more. Take a big deep breath. And then go ahead and release your right leg, create that base for yourself with your right leg. And then pick your left foot and knee up. And from there, you're rocking side to side, taking that half happy baby pose variation here. Or not half happy baby pose, but that baby cradle here. And find where it is that you can sit up tall, take a full couple of breaths. And then taking that half happy baby pose now, foot aimed forward, knee aimed back, and then your right hand becomes your support. Lengthen up through your spine and begin a pull back and a press forward at resistance and lengthen. Deep, full inhale and exhale. Good, and now we're gonna bring legs out in front of us and find bolster, or if you'd rather do a rolled up blanket, you can. We'll take a little bit of a gentle hamstring release here. So legs setting over whatever you're using for your props. I like my legs to be somewhere in between wide and narrow, but you can take as wide as your mat or bolster, or you can take legs right up against each other. Move your sitting bones. And then as you inhale, lengthen, sit tall. Exhale, fold as deeply as your body is ready for. Maybe reach out for your feet. When I do that, I like to put my hands over my toes so that you have a little natural pulling back action happening. That's one option. Or maybe elbows to your thighs. So find what feels the best. The elbows to the thighs is a really nice option because it gives you a little fascia release of both quads and hamstrings. So you choose and maybe switch back and forth between them. Again, if you want, you can close your eyes. Take about 3 more big breaths right here. And then inhale gently, come all the way back upright. And now we're gonna take legs, you can slip your bolster out from underneath now, but we're gonna take legs wide. And it could be a super wide extent for you if that feels good, or it could be just wider than your mat. But same thing that we did in our butterfly, you're gonna take the bolster out in front of you and set your head on it. And from this place, your hands can support the bolster, your hands can rest on your thighs or hands on the ground. You notice for a moment if you need to add a little bit more cushion, you can always take a blanket underneath your leg or a block underneath your legs. A couple full big breaths here. Checking in with any parts of you that are holding on to tension. And having that intention of letting go wherever it is that you don't need to hold on. Three more deep breaths. And support the bolster with your hands to rise back up. And now we're going to come over onto our bellies. And from your belly, we're going to have a blanket folded up underneath our hips. And then our bolster is going to come underneath our shins. So find your blanket and you're going to fold it up so you have a little bit of height. Doesn't have to be super high. I tend to like not quite that high, but just enough to put underneath hip bones and belly. And then the bolster to the foot of your mat. And I like to start on hands and knees here so that I can get my shins underneath the bolster. And then start to rest out over the blanket. And then you can adjust the blanket a little bit more easily. A little more easily. Blanket underneath hip bones. Hands can come underneath your head, or you can open your arms up to a cactus here with your palms down. Forehead coming to the ground, or if you have another blanket you want to use, you can do that too. Take a couple deep breaths. And recognize that expansion of your breath into your blankets and into the ground. And remember that you can always change positions to find where it feels the best on your body. You have about 5 more big breaths with your belly expanding and contracting. And now gently lift your head, use your hands to support you to rise back to hands and knees. And now we're going to take our spinal twist. So you can come all the way down to your seat. You have your choice. We're going to bring our bolster out in front of us again. You have your choice. You can actually prop your bolster up here for a little bit more of a lift through your torso for this twist, or the way we usually do it, which is all the way down on the ground with your bolster. Your choice. But sit to the right side with your left hip toward the bolster, and then knees are bent back, and then turn your belly and your heart toward your bolster to rest. As you take these couple of breaths, just take a moment to notice how this twist feels, and if you need to shift or adjust to make it a little less of a twist or more of a twist. And now gently use your hands to support you. And lift your torso back up. And then keep your bolster where it is and turn yourself around. Right side near the bolster, knees bent back to a comfortable place. And then turn yourself to face your bolster and begin to rest. And as you rest, take a few moments to notice anything that's showing up in your body that might be holding on to tension. Feel free to shift and move to make it a little bit more comfortable. And now gently push yourself up to your seat. And then we're going to come to laying down now. We're going to take a variation of our butterfly that I don't think we've done before. So bolster is going to go underneath your legs as your knees open up in the butterfly and your feet come together. And we're going to take our blanket around our feet the way we often do. So you get to make that roll. And then set the roll over your feet and wrap it underneath your legs to give your ankles that support. And then you get to lower yourself onto your back. And from this place, if you have another blanket, you're welcome to put it over you. Or just take a moment to find some comfort here. So shift a little bit if you need to, adjust. And if it feels better to take this with the bolster underneath your spine instead, you're welcome to. It's just a different option. Then allow yourself to come to stillness. Allowing yourself to settle in with a soft awareness of whatever is present. Have another 3 full breaths right here. And now lifting your knees, we're going to move the bolster aside for now and move it to the right side. Knees lift up toward your chest. Take a moment to rock. And now you have your choice, either legs stay together or wrap your left thigh over your right. to take your legs to rest over to the right side on your bolster or on whatever prop you'd like. And from that place, if your right or if your left shoulder is down rather, feel free to come to either a cactus or a T with that arm. Full big deep breath. And now inhale, come back up to center. And we're going to take the prop over to the left side. And then again, either knees together or cross right leg over the left to take your legs over to the left side. And if your right shoulder is down, maybe come to that T or cactus. Take a full big breath here. Three more breaths. And then gently bring legs back up to center, set footprints on the ground. And now we'll take a few moments in either a happy baby pose or windshield wipers, whichever is calling out to you right now. And you can always switch between the two. We'll take a few moments to find that movement, check in with the hips and the low back. You can even add arms overhead in your windshield wipers if you'd like. You can add the hamstring stretch in the happy baby pose if you'd like. And now decide on which prop you would like to set underneath your legs. We can take this variation of our bridge pose. Feet come close to sitting bones, and as you inhale, lift your hips, slip your prop underneath your hips and adjust it to where it's comfortable on the low back and the sacrum. And then feel free to add that extended version here with your legs out long or arms overhead. Or you can always keep your knees bent. You get to find what feels the best in your body to have this little bit of lift, this traction for your hips. You can keep your legs right where they are if you would like. Or you can walk your knees or walk your feet back in and then lift your knees up towards your chest and lift your legs up toward the ceiling for a moment. Coming to this legs up the air. We have about 5 more breaths, whether you're still in your bridge pose or whether you have your legs lifted. And then if the legs are lifted, you're bending your knees and setting your feet on the ground. If your legs are extended, walk them back in. And then lift your hips and sort of prop out from underneath and let your hips come all the way down to the ground. And from here, we're going to shift into our Shavasana. I'm going to give you an option that we haven't done for a long time, if we've done it before. And so if you want, you can prop your bolster up, and we're going to set our legs up over the bolster. And to do that, if you have a wider bolster, it's a little bit easier. Or you can take a strap around your legs to help them stay together. Or you can create a little cocoon out of your blanket for your legs. So I usually start off on the ground, knees bent, wrapping the blanket around my feet, and then set my legs up on the bolster, and then let myself rest. It's an option for you here, or just take the variation of Shavasana that feels the best in your body. Where you can settle and let go of anything that you're holding on to. Where you can come to some stillness. As you begin to take a deeper breath, notice sensations that are present, general feelings in the body, thoughts in the mind, and start to move a little through your fingers and through your toes. And then you can make a choice for yourself. If you'd like to come up to a seat for your meditation, you can. Or you can stay lying down. If you decide to stay lying down, I encourage you to just shift for a moment. But if you're going to come up to a seat, feel free to roll over to your side and push yourself up. Just allowing yourself to find a little bit more length through your spine. Take a full big breath. Either sit tall or feel your ribs expand as you lay on the ground, whichever is your chosen position. Eyes can stay closed here if you would like. And if you're seated, then your palms can rest on your legs. And as you bring awareness to your breath, noticing it moving in and out of your body. Start to make it a little bit longer and slower. Notice your body in this space. All the parts of you that are touching the ground. Notice the air on your skin. Notice anything visual that you might be experiencing behind your eyelids. Notice any sounds that are present. And begin to notice specific body sensations. Thinking of where a sensation starts and stops. And maybe what sort of quality it has. Maybe there's a temperature to it or a tightness to something. And then bring your awareness back to that breath, full, soft, long, moving in and out of your body. And now bring your awareness to your heart space. And you might set a hand on your heart. And for a couple moments, bring awareness to a memory from the past, whether it was long ago or recent, of a time when you experienced joy. And as you notice that memory, notice what that feeling of joy is like in your body. Is there a particular place in your body where you feel that joy? Maybe there's a particular body sensation associated. Maybe it brings up thoughts of particular images or smells or something with your senses. And then bring your awareness back to your breath moving through your body. And now bring to mind an image of something to come this weekend with the holidays. Maybe a person or a group of people you'll be spending time with. Or maybe it's just you and your significant other. Or maybe it's even just you with some food you might be cooking, whatever it is that you're going to be doing this holiday. Bring to mind whatever that activity is, whether it's the same or different. And then imagine that same feeling of joy coming into your body and into your mind. What does that joy feel like? Where is it present in your body? For a few breaths, inhale to fill yourself with joy. And exhale to send joy out to others around you, near or far. Inhale joy and exhale joy. Bring hands to connect that heart center. And take another deep breath to sit taller or lengthen, however you happen to be. As you exhale, you can bow towards your heart if you're sitting, or simply take a full exhale with your hands at heart center. Have a very peaceful and beautiful holiday, rest of your day throughout the next week, since I won't be seeing you. Namaste.